Business intelligence and data analytics can go a long way in ensuring superlative business decisions as long as the insights are timely, accurate, and relevant. The senior executive looks out for sharp and lucid insights delivered proactively. The insights should also factor for impacts from all aspects of the business. For example, a decrease in profitability cannot be viewed in isolation, instead needs to be analyzed in conjunction with productivity levels, resource costs, key employee attrition, and so many other parameters. What I need to say here is that an enterprise-wide business intelligence or analytics solution is required. Now, having stated that, how would you proceed to get this enterprise-wide analytics solution? Well, you can build the system from the scratch or consider having ready-built industry-specific analytics solution. Which one and why is the question. Now, let's get some basic facts in place before we jump into this debate. So, some quick facts show that majority of custom BI implementations fail, whereas industry standard BI solutions are proven to be far more successful and reliable than their corresponding custom BI counterparts. A custom BI solution, even if it goes live, is likely to cost around 5 to 6 times more than an industry standard BI solution, also likely to take 5 to 6 times more time than an industry standard BI solution. Now there are reasons behind these facts. So let us try and analyze. So to start with, let's look at the entire project life cycle of development of an analytics solution, and let's take it phase wise, starting with deployment planning and requirements gathering, and so on. Look at the other phases of the project life cycle to understand the comparison. With regard to deployment planning and requirements gathering, I'm attempted to use the traditional apples versus oranges example here. So if you look at the left-hand side of the screen, the key executive is actually thinking of an orange and he gets an apple in his hand. And so he's very disappointed. So you would rather have the executive who is positioned on the right-hand side with an apple in his hand, and he always dreamt of an apple, right? So why does this happen in a software kind of a scenario? So what happens is, in case of custom BI solution, you are there is a higher likelihood of choosing incorrect application stack, uh, choosing the incorrect consulting and implementation vendors, lack or let's say gap in the hardware sizing and specs, right? So this coupled with other things like incomplete and incorrect functional requirements with ambiguous definitions of KPIs, right, lead to a situation where the system is driven by requirements which are both on the software and hardware side which are inaccurate or incomplete. Gaps in domain expertise and lack of expertise in emphasizing required for the particular industry specific analytics solution leads to a lack of a future proof solution. So basically the system is not scalable to the future business needs. So obviously all of these needs to a stereotypical situation where you wanted oranges and got apples. Well, you would rather, as I said, have a happy executive like on the right hand side, who has a pre-built industry standard analytics solution to play with, which wherein the specialist vendor has actually delivered a pre-attested technology stack, industry standard KPIs, accurate requirements driven by industry domain expertise, future-proof emphasizing a single point of contact in terms of a single vendor for the entire stack of domain expertise to implementation to any enhancement in the future, and hence no need for multiple vendors, right? So this is how in the typically in the requirements and deployment planning phase in custom BI one can land up with a situation where you wanted oranges and you were handed apples. Now, moving on to the next phase and looking at design and implementation of the system. Well, on the one hand, industry solutions give you pre-built data model, pre-built source system extractors, pre-built, predefined KPIs, data model, right, and entire reports and analytics. While a custom solution means that you have to build all these from the scratch. So you are looking at your car, at your dream car, and you have to build it from the scratch, and you're likely to make errors or take a lot of time and cost to build it up, to explore and learn along the way, which could have a very bad impact on the cost and schedule, and you might end up not achieving the dream car you always wanted. Whereas on the left hand side of the screen here, you see the dream car ready built by the experts who have leveraged the pre-built data model, extractors, transformation routines, entire data model, the reports, analytics to ensure that a predefined cost and schedule have been invested and you have got the dream car you always look for, right? The other issue with respect to software development is that in order to get an enterprise-wide analytics system, probably you will go for a waterfall model to ensure proper integration of data across multiple systems, which is very effort and cost intensive if you want to do it from the scratch for the entire enterprise. You may not want to use agile model because it will only work for silos or departmental needs, and it is not possible to deliver org-wide, enterprise-wide comprehensive insights using agile model for an analytics solution. So, whereas the industry standard solution being pre-built, the extent of customization would be minimal, and hence, which could be less than 10%, and hence the vendor can afford to actually make these customizations in a waterfall model without incurring too much incremental cost and schedule. Now, we've been talking about cost, schedule, and hence we of course know that time is money. So all these factors are taking us to the same conclusion. And to reiterate on the time is money part of it, we would also probably want to look at the testing part of the life cycle, where in case of a pre-built solution, the test scripts are pre-built, and hence a lot of effort is saved in terms of trying to validate or attest that the product is as desired as per the requirements. Along the same lines, or rather taking a step further, the user training in case of a pre-built solution is pretty much more standardized and according to the needs or according to the way the application is and delivered by domain experts, industry experts, whereas in the case of a custom solution, it is possible and quite likely that the business user training may not be adequate up to the extent that the adoption is good enough, which ultimately means that the user adoption being low, the system would be either be used less and eventually be retired as planned. So that's all I have today, and thank you for your time.